Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize to Joshua Christ. I want to apologize to Joshua Christ because of the Chicago Cubs. Just like the Boston Red Sox, in which my special friend, Kim, Chloe, has a Boston Red Sox hat. How many sets of keys do you have, Kim? You know, I just want to say something. A wrinkle in time. You call it an enigma. Wrinkle in time. Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon, Chris Pine. I'm not going to go further. I'm going to go read to a specific section. Page 57. Yes. He's a PhD and several times over. Yes. Most of the time he works alone, but some of the time he works at the Institute for Higher Learning in Princeton. Correct? Yes. Then he did some work for the government, didn't he? Yes. You take it from there. That's all I know. You take it from there. That's all I know. That's about all I know, too, Meg said. Maybe Mother knows more. I don't know. What he did was, well, it was what they called classified. Top secret, you mean? That's right. And you don't even have any idea of what it was about? Meg shook her head. No, not really. Just an idea because of where he was. Well, where? There's a person named Matt Cox that explained to me about deeds and plots and title insurance. See, I had this book. I was at Weichard Realty. Let me repeat that. I was at Weichard Realty with the Garcia family, and they explained to me about getting the real estate license and the mortgage license. Barron, Dictionary of Real Estate Terms. Now I'm going to go to a specific section called promissory notes. Just bear with me. Promissory notes. A promise to pay a specified sum to a specific person under specified terms. See also notes. Now they have a picture or thing of promissory notes. This section right here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it's very interesting. Once a gun runner, I want to explain something to you. I want to explain something to you about breathing, about this doctor, and things that have to do with faith and religion in the Quran. Ladies and gentlemen, the Vatican manipulated the Holy Quran. The person that was designated was not Allah. Allah is another word of saying Baal. So that is what I'm trying to explain. Allah is Baal. When you look at all this designation, because I did research and development, I had to write a theory about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is something I worked on when I was at St. John's and Yeshiva and these Princeton University. It's things that have to do Collins, Arabic, Visual Dictionary, things that have to do with translation. See, Billy Carson's II and David Icke did guest lecturing at some of these universities where I was at. And I met them. And they explained certain things to me about the Anunnaki and the Nephilim. Those are interchangeable names. You could call them what they really are, which is a version of what Titans are. Titans are versions in the Greek and Italian god or goddess section of what Zeus or Poseidon is. So Kronos is not Saturn. Two different designations, two different things. So I have a book that says that Saturn is Lucifer. Incorrect. Two different designations. In this cipher here, in Enoch, it explains things on magic. So this is something I want to. I didn't want to explain this I didn't want to explain this at a distance. I wanted to explain this in person. So when I did research, I found out that those people that are the tape people were designated as the two witnesses. Let me repeat that. When I spoke to my friends that do conspiracy theories, meaning I wanted to understand what exactly happened during September 11th and why a plane or any plane went to two buildings or the Pentagon. So I met a lot of these people called Farouk, Raj, Harold from the Holy Quran. And I met them when I was in Princeton, SUNY Buffalo, Cornell University, New York University, NASA Community College, etc. I would correspond by a letter. I wouldn't do email. So what they explained to me, the Vatican created this comic book. This comic book was made up by the Vatican a very long time ago. That's where Allah and all this thing is. And the person that was the angel is designated as Samael. That is the person that Prophet Muhammad was listening to. And that is another word of saying Lucifer. So, that I want to tell you because I did research and development, ladies and gentlemen. I do not want to be dishonest. That Quran, the real person, his name is Johann Abraham Gita. That's the real person. So you could call him a version of what you call King Arthur. During the Tea Empire, during the Tartarian Empire, when they had this reset, there is a book. identical to this in India. I had to travel over there when I was in college. I had to get, I'm going to show you my passport. I'm just going to flip it because I don't want to get in trouble or whatever. I had a passport like this that was like black. That AmeriCorps had to give me. Not the AmeriCorps, but something like the AmeriCorps had to give me. But for college, university. And it was the same thing, ladies and gentlemen, when I visited the Vatican. Because I had to go in undergraduate and graduate school. I visited the Vatican twice. I went to the library. So that thing about the Da Vinci Code is about my relatives. This is my past one, ladies and gentlemen. But it was a kid one. This is a kid one I had. So, I just want to bring up this book because it's a reminder. Some of these books that I lost in life, ladies and gentlemen, like the San Francisco, because I visited San Francisco. I visited it when I was in university. Now, I don't want to BS you guys about this the two witnesses or anything like that. I don't want to lie to the public. But it's not right that, first of all, Diddy, there was more to that story because one of his sons or daughters, friends and their relatives started asking me, because I'm going to bring up this acronym of Joker, Joker, just like the word bar, BAR, like the bar exam. So I have to confess something to Diddy's family. Shawn Diddy Combs. Mr. Combs, they had my fucking written information in your case. Let me repeat that. I found this out from the letter. They had my written information in your case. I think your lawyer, no offense, your lawyer needs to know what the heck is happening. Because those people, just like the Paige Thompson case and this Desiree Perez, you have my handwritten notes. Because when I was in university, it's related to George Gatchen and John George Trump. You have my handwritten notes. You don't have my permission nor authorization to be, telling Desiree Perez or any of those people the case is closed, or you're saying to them you're pardoning them. That's bullshit. So to Shawn Diddy Combs, I'm just telling you this. I hopefully your son or your daughter sees this and your cousin's relatives see this. I don't find what they did to you correct. I think it was wrong. And they're sickos. And that Perez woman, Mr. Combs, she's involved in your case. Because there's certain things about my incident which has to do with my past workers' comp case, and the thing that has to do with my identity theft with this credit card fraud, and then labeling me as in the military, something that Valerie and Vanessa and Victoria brought up to me. It's all correlated with that case. Because there's no way I'm telling you this, Mr. Combs. There's no way that Letitia James is allowed to be getting away with plagiarizing things, because I had a problem at Harvard University. There was a woman. I'm black and Spanish. I'm not, my relatives came from Nigeria and Uganda and Johannesburg, Africa, Mr. Combs, Mr. Diddy. I don't want to lie to you, but I have to be honest with you. I wouldn't lie to that guy, Matt Cox, but there's something that doesn't make any sense with your case, which has to do with that person, Letitia James. Something doesn't add up, because the things with YouTube, with this with child protection rights, it's all affiliated with your case. It's all affiliated. Because there's no way you can plagiarize or use my voice or use testimonial evidence in a past workers' comp case or a state and federal case that involves a Catholic hospital. Not a Catholic hospital, I'm sorry. A Catholic church. A Catholic church. Or a temple. That's what I have to say. It's very interesting that in Rockville Center I had an attorney that's affiliated with Cohen and Goldstein. It's very interesting that all of a sudden, Mrs. James, it's very interesting. You're going after President Trump, and you got a lot more information about that Perez case and the thing with Mr. Shawn Diddy Combs. It's very, very interesting. It is the same thing with this Kathy Hochul matter. It's very interesting because Dr. Katz, who was my advisor for the AmeriCorps, she started explaining things that you were in the public defender's office and I had to speak to certain people. And no offense, I got slapped by Kim Noel Kardashian, and I got slapped by Kim Noel Kardashian's cousin from the district attorney's office. Right in front of everybody. Security guards, the police department slapped me right in front of those people. They didn't do a thing. So I want to apologize. I don't think it's fair to Will Smith, because his wife knew this Tupac. She knew Tupac and Biggie and these people, and it's not fair to her because Chris Rock, I'm going to say something to you. That event, that was all staged. That event that happened with Will Smith slapping you, that event was staged. Because the same thing happened with Carlos Mencia and Joe Rogan. That event was staged. And I can prove it in court because I had a relative, and then I saw a video of it because I had to do a thing called monitoring when I was doing stuff in not just the AmeriCorps. I was learning about things in case studies as a private investigator with the studies related to criminal justice and also the other matters that have to do with penal code and civil court and related to that matter. It was all staged. Joe Rogan, there is no way in hell, I'm telling you this, that event was not staged. Because it wasn't just Carlos Mencia. There are other people out there that got affected because of that situation. You should have brought Carlos Mencia to the side, and you should have asked him. And I bet you Carlos would have called my cousin's relatives up, and I would have answered. I bet you on that. Because there is something that, to me, in this world out here, that does not add up. And to you, Samael, and to your relatives in this satanistic nonsense with this media and all this BS, this New World Order, this Illuminati, the magic or whatever, you're going to be held responsible. I know you're going to hear this, Belfagor, the same person. You are going to be held responsible. demonic possessions isn't going to happen. Because there's a person out there that's named Pop. That's Adonai Shaddai. It's my relative. That's Elohim and Yahweh's relative. That's John Joseph, or you call him Jacob. It's in this book right here. And he caught you, Belphegor, red-handed. He caught you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Bell. B-E-L-L-E, or Bella. Whatever you want to be called with this Disney nonsense. Walt Disney. I see right through your BS. I see right through your BS. You people make me sick. Blech. Take care, guys. Have a pleasant and wonderful day. Just remember, Joshua Christ, he's watching a lot of this stuff that's going on. Take care.